Good morning and welcome to the Glasgow Rangers Nation podcast live, guys, with me, your host, Owen James. Just thought you'd appreciate seeing that one more time. Yes, our neighbours from across the city embarrassing themselves in Europe after, of course, let's face it, they slaughtered Slovan Bratislava and we're going to win the Champions League. That's what we heard, didn't we? After that victory over Slovan at the Sweaty had, we heard that they were going to go on and win the Champions League. That's what we heard. That's what their fans told us. Not going to happen, is it really, realistically? Morning, CJ. Morning, Owen and Bears. Well, last night was a humbling, it certainly was. Morning all, 7 degrees today also, 7 a.m., 7 minutes to the podcast starts. Way to eat 7 eggs. Anyone feeling 7 today, says honest Kaz. Don't forget your 7-Up, Kaz, CJ and I. Yeah, I mean, I think sales of 7-Up will go through the roof in Glasgow today. I'm sure there are many on the green and white side of the city. We'll be stocking up on their 7-Up, no doubt, for today's drinks. Maybe not. I don't know. It's funny anyway. But let's hope that we don't go the same way on Thursday. I mean, let's face it. You can laugh, but he who laughs he who laughs last laughs longest. Something like that. Anyway, look, we're going into the game. Obviously, we're going to preview the game today. Tomorrow night we go head to head with Lyon from Ligue 1. Lyon, a team that historically, I've got a proud tradition. I certainly remember Lyon doing very well in the Champions League, doing very well, and at one point being the PSG of French football. I certainly remember a certain French manager who, later on came somewhere near us, didn't he? Paul Le Guen, taking that team on and doing exceptionally well with them. Lyon at one point had some amazing footballers, didn't they? Karim Benzema, Michael Essien, to name but two there that went on to great success. Obviously, Benzema with Real Madrid, Essien with Chelsea. Certainly two players there that, in a very, very, very much a historic past in Lyon. A team to be respected anyway, a team to kind of, take a little bit of wariness of. And I'm certainly glad that the game is at Ibrox on Thursday night and not over in France. I think if it was over in France, it would be a whole different kettle of fish. I do really think that. Now, what's really interesting when it comes to Olympique Lyonnais is the fact that they've spent a lot of money this summer. A lot of money. They put a lot of money into that team, but they're underperforming quite badly at this moment in time. They really genuinely are. I think a lot of people expected Olympique Lyon to be a challenger this season in the French League and actually take on Paris Saint-Germain. But, it certainly hasn't happened under their manager, Pierre Sage, no matter what, depends on whether you're going for the French accent with Sage, whether you're going Sage, I don't know. If you look at the relative values of the two squads as well, presently Rangers' squad is worth £78 million. That's the current squad value of Rangers. The current squad value of PSG is €265.8 million. So you're looking at probably about €250 million. So £75 million, €250 million. I mean, realistically, this is not a game that we should be able to compete in, is it? Realistically, when you've got a squad that's worth nearly £200 million more than your squad. In terms of their spent. Just watched the Lee McCullough interview from the last time we won 3 in Lyon memories. Absolutely, honest, Kaz. What else we got here? Another comment from Geordie says, with the teams in our group have been playing, I'd say the only team we could have problem with would be Spurs. Yeah, that's a good point, mate. That's a good point. £250 million, not bad. Yeah, it's decent, isn't it? Decent. Like I said, they spent over 109 million this summer. In terms of players they brought in, they spent €6 million on a goalkeeper called Paris. This is their market value, actually. Let's see if I can find their transfers this summer. They spent a lot of money this summer on players, and they've certainly sort of gone for it this summer, Olympique Lyon, in terms of actually, trying to compete with the top teams in France. Let's have a look. So they spent. Let's see. They spent Niakate on Nick. This is what they spent this summer. Niakate, centre back, 31.9 million. Numar, a right winger from, I don't know where he was from, 28.5 million. Mangala, 23.4 million. Mikataudze, the Georgian striker, he cost them 18.5 million. Ben Harama from West Ham, 14.4. Abner, a left back, for 8 million. Tressman, 6 million. Balda, 6 million. Vetut from Marseille, 4 million. Calieta from Southampton, 3.59 million. They've got Wilfried Zaha on loan. Amari on loan. Des Camp was a free transfer from Nantes. So they've spent a vast amount. They've actually spent, get ready for this, 147 million euro on players, and they have they've got back in 38.75 million on players. I mean, that is a considerable amount of money. Absolutely. Jordy says, just goes to show you, it doesn't matter how much you spend on players, if you turn up, you're done. Correct, Jordy. And I think that's something that Manchester United are learning this season, isn't it? 600 million on players they've spent this year. Madness. Absolute madness. I mean, let's have a look. Overall, I mean, let's start off with looking at a bit more about Lyon. And then we're going to talk about Rangers. We'll talk about possible team for tomorrow night. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about what we need to see from Rangers tomorrow night. So look, the French League, I mean, this is just the top 13, sorry, that you can see here. Oh, by the way, did anyone see Abdallah Sima scored 2 goals for Brest in the Champions League last night? I still think Brest is a hilarious name for a football team. Anyway, PSG obviously top on 16, Monaco second on 16, Marseille third on 13, Stade Reims on 11, Lille, that is LOSC, is Lille 10 points, Lens 10 points, Nantes 9 points, Strasbourg 9 points, Nice 8 points, Rennes 7 points, Lyon down in 11th on 7 points. Now, like I said, this is a team that was very heavily invested in over the summer, and they've made a very mixed start to the season. They've, in their first 6 games that they've played this season, they've won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. So they've lost over half their games this season already. I mean, that's not great, is it? That is pretty poor from Lyon. And their last 5 games that they've played, guys, this is their last 5 games that Lyon have played. So they won 4-3 against Strasbourg. They drew 0-0 with Lens away. They lost 3-2 at home to Marseille, and Marseille had a player sent off. Europa League, they won their first Europa League tie 2-0 against Olympiacos. Of course, that was at home. And then they scraped. Now, that apparently was a scrape on Saturday, whenever they played Toulouse. It was a 2-1 win, but it was a very much a last-minute job there. So a 2-1 victory over Toulouse at the weekend. Now, another thing that's come out just in the last few days is that one of the guys who is their senior goalkeeper, a guy called Anthony Lopez, who is a Portuguese goalkeeper, is quite sort of a senior pro at Lyon, is one of the captains of the team, is one of the senior figures in the dressing room, has been dropped and has been excluded from first team training and has been kind of excluded from the dressing room as well. So it appears as well going into this game that there's a little bit of squad unrest in Lyon amongst some of the senior players towards the new manager, Pierre Sage, or Sage, whatever you want to call him. So that also, I think, does bode well for Rangers. You've also got a little bit of the arrogance coming out as well. And the Nemanja Matic, who plays for them, the other day, and he said, what did he say? He said, "Oh, Rangers will be playing the winners of the Europa League on Thursday." I mean, that's supreme arrogance. That really is supreme arrogance from a player now. And obviously, Nemanja Matic is a guy who's played, he played for Chelsea, he's played for Manchester United, so he has played at the highest level. So he's a guy who has certainly got a pretty decent record in terms of his appearances. But that is real massive arrogance for me, going into a tie that they could quite easily lose. I mean, their team does seem to vary. If you look at their team and you look at how they line up on a regular basis, they do seem to kind of really sort of vary formation, something that obviously we don't do. We're not really good, are we, at varying our formation? We seem to stick to the same formation no matter what. I mean, here's their last game. This was the game against Olympiacos in the Europa League. So they played a 4-2-3-1 against Olympiacos. This is their team. Perry in goal. Maitland-Niles, who is the lad who is on loan from Arsenal. Mata, Calieta, Tagliafoco, Tolisso, Matic, Numar, Cherki, Fofana, and experienced pro Alexander Lacazette. Those of you who remember Lacazette once played for Arsenal. Veteran striker, still very, very effective. Still a very good player. Their last time out in the league game against Toulouse, they lined up with a 4-3-3, a very different formation. Now, I honestly don't know how they're going to play it on Thursday. Now, their team on Tuesday looked very threatening, and I think was a bit of a surprise they underperformed. So Perry, Kumbedi, Mata, Calieta. Mata and Calieta seem to be their regular centre-back pairing. Vinicius, midfield three of Cacaret, Tessman, Veretout, the former Marseille player, Ben Harama, Mikataudze, the Georgian, and Wilfried Zaha, obviously ex of Crystal Palace, Manchester United fame, and obviously Ivory Coast, I think it is, international. So they seem to play either 4-2-2, 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. So I think we'll see some variance on that formation tomorrow night against Rangers, either a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Honest Kaz says, feeling good about shame it doesn't start at 7. Malmo's arrogance turned against them, plus it made us want it more. Very true. That's a good point, wasn't it? That video they released before the game was a massive mistake. The right attitude and desire with the crowd can go a long way, mate. Absolutely, Ali, 100%. 12th man needed. Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow night, 100%. Honest Kaz. Would be good to get Hiefte in on Thursday, but wouldn't mind seeing Casa again. I think, yeah, Hiefte will play, mate. I think Hiefte has been really good. Not many moon howlers here today. No, they seem to be keeping a very low profile, Scott. Did you hear Dortmund fans singing the Rangers song last night? Yeah, I've got to love it, mate. Got to love it. Dortmund definitely gone up in my estimations. In terms of our record against Lyon, this is our record against Lyon. We've played them 4 times. They've won 2. There's been 1 draw and 1 win in that time. Goals wise, between the two teams, we've scored, and let's get that cleared off, 4 times against them. They've scored 6 times against us. So averaging just over a goal a game. We're averaging 1 goal a game. And I'll tell you something, I would settle for a 1-0 here and now. Last few results against them. Obviously, tomorrow night's game's on there. A 1-1 in Lyon. A 2-0 home defeat in 21-22. A 3-0 home defeat in 07-08 in the Champions League, and a 3-0 away win in the Champions League. So our record at Ibrox against them is actually quite bad. We've played them twice at Ibrox and lost them twice at Ibrox. So their record at Ibrox is actually quite good. They've scored 5 with no response. So that's something we've got to start to put right tomorrow night in that game at Ibrox. Let's have a quick look at your comments. Let's have a look where we got to. Here we go. First comment in. Aldo, welcome. Hopefully we show up Thursday night, please, Rangers. Agreed, Aldo. Bobby, I think I heard it 7 times, mate. Lol. Like it, honest Kaz. Dortmund clapped us when we beat them last time, first leg. I think they got a soft spot for us. I think you're probably right, Bobby. Shows how weak Celtic really are. The gulf between the UCL and SPFL. Celtic looked like St Johnstone last night. Agreed. Morning, Caleb. How you doing, buddy? And Bobby says here, it was great, mate. Just shows how teams think of that mob. Good morning, everyone. Looking forward to the game tomorrow night. A Rangers win. Hopefully, Stephen. Aldo, I mean, what do you think about Hagi? I've got to say, I'm really pleased, Aldo. I think it's great news that Hagi's back in the squad. Look, I hear the arguments. That, that people say, oh, he's not that good. He's too slow. He's not the player that everyone thinks he is. There's been a bit of narrative rewriting when it comes to Ianis Hagi, etc., etc. But what I'd say to those people is go and watch the Euros again. Go back and watch the Euros. Go back and watch how he played for Romania. Go back and watch his performance, in that game against Romania, and look at what he did. He played really, really well, and he actually looked really good against some good teams in the Euros. So the thing I'd say is that this is a quality player coming back into the squad, and the way the squad is at the moment in terms of midfield depth, in terms of midfield talent, I welcome every player back in, and Hagi certainly is a talent. He's a player who's proved in the past he can do it in the SPL. He's proved he can do it in the Cups competitions. The bad side of it is, we don't have Hagi for tomorrow night because he's not in the Euro squad, but he is available for Sunday. He is available for the Cup games. He is available going forward in the league, at least until January. I think the other positive, although, is if we are aiming to still sell him, then, if he plays well over the coming weeks and months, then he's going to raise his value back up again, which, would have been massively depressed by playing him in the B team. So, yeah, I'm really happy to have him back, although that's a long answer to a question. I take a draw right now against Lyon, but want the win for the points, says Geordie. Play Walter's way against Celtic. They're wide open at the back. Agreed. Morning, Owen. What a Wednesday morning. Hagi back, and that lot get pumped. They do. Happy to see Sterling extending his contract. Hopefully he gets his position nailed down soon. Scott, I've got to say I agree with that. And hopefully it's at right back. That's his best position. Lyon will fear us. We will get into them for the start. Fast attacking football, says Ali. Happy with the decision, says Honest Kaz. Sterling, glad he's staying, but on what position? His position is really Tab right back. He is a right back. I mean, that's the thing. We've got to boot Tab out of the team. I think Hagi situation is great business for us in terms of either having cover or starting over. Lawrence, plus it only grows our potential to sell him on. Agreed, Geordie. That's what a lot of people are kind of losing sight of with this whole Hagi debate, is that, he's back in the squad, we've backed down. I mean, we've got to remember he wanted to leave in the summer. Well, he might have wanted to leave, but at the end of the day, if you put him in the B team, you don't put him in the A team, it basically means we're going to either have to rip up his contract at the end of the season or sell him for peanuts. And that's not what you want. That's not how you treat assets. Hagi, fast, but two guys come to him when he receives the ball. He's good at turning out of trouble and passing. Hagi would have done what PC wanted Dow to do v Hibbs. I agree. He's a better player than Kieran Dow. And I think a lot of people need to remember that whilst Hagi can play as a 10, he can also play as an 8. He can play in that pivot too. He did that last season, pre-season. So I do think that, I think that's a possibility. I really do think that is a possibility. Going into this game tomorrow night against Lyon, like I said, there are threats on that Lyon team. You've got Zaha, you've got Veretout, you've got Lacazette, you've got Mkhitaryan, you've got all these players. I mean, that's Alexander Lacazette, for those of you who don't remember him. There he is. It will be a tough game. They will come and they will play football, and I think they'll actually come out and play, which actually will help us. Now, one of the things I kind of, want to put across here is people have talked about, you look at the performance on Thursday night, and it was excellent. I mean, the performance against Malmo on Thursday night was absolutely excellent from Rangers. It was really good. We started to see an embryonic start to a really good, team performance. And we really did see quality play. We saw passages of passing, passages of play that were good. We started to see a style. We started to see a way of playing. We started to see all these things. Now, my personal opinion is this. I honestly think that in the Champions League, in the Europa League, I think, we play better football in the Europa League. Now, why do we play better football in the Europa League? For me, we play better football in the Europa League because there's less pressure on us. There's less pressure on us because, Europa League football against some of these teams, Rangers aren't expected to win. Rangers are not expected to, to beat these teams. At the end of the day, you look at tomorrow night, we're going up against a team with a massive, huge squad value, a huge squad value, and throughout this whole period of games we're going to play against the likes of Nice and Manchester United and Spurs, etc., we're going to kind of go into this spell and we're going to have a situation where we aren't going to be looked at as a team that can win. We're going to look at a team that will probably lose these games. We're not expected to win these games. So realistically, we're playing without pressure. We're playing without the hassle. We're playing as well against teams that will actually come out and play football against us. And the thing in the SPL is, apart from the Celtic game, and maybe even the Aberdeen game to some extent, we play against teams that don't want to play football. We play against teams that basically want to come and kick the living hell out of us, park the bus, and just basically play for a nil-nil draw. I mean, that's what they do. Now, Europa League, I think, suits Rangers a little bit more than the league football, because it gives us more chance to actually play football, more chance to actually do the business. So I think the pressure freeness will actually enable us to play, and be better. I do think that is something that will happen tomorrow night. I think we'll have more of an opportunity to actually go and play with our style, to play the way we want to play the game. Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it is that Lyon will play football. Lyon are not going to come and park the bus. They're not going to come and just sit behind the ball, with 10 men and try. And they're not going to come and kick the living daylights out of us. That's not how they're going to play. They're going to want to play us, and that's going to give us more chance to actually play our game. And that for me is very positive. Aldo says Sterling surprised he's staying on after getting first team squad, but fair play to him staying. Remember Hagi 3-2 Europa night, beautiful, absolutely. Aldo Hagi done nothing wrong. Beale got rid of him for speaking out in a presser. Agreed. Be interesting to see what the board's decision on managers with Hagi coming back into the team. Apparently, some of it, Scott, was down to player pressure. Apparently, a lot of the players at 8 o'clock, Bobby. Apparently, a lot of the players went to Clement and Coppen and said, basically, we want this player back. That seems to be the case, along with obviously Hagi making noise in the media that he wanted to return, that he wanted back, that he wanted to be, that he wanted to play. So I think, at the end of the day, I do think this is a good move for the club, and it is good that the players have spoken out. It's good that the players have stood by Hagi, and it's good that Hagi's back. But talking in this Champions League game, Europa League game, that's wishful thinking, isn't it? Tomorrow night. Like I said, I want to see us go out and play with some freedom, to actually go out and play with a bit of freedom, to go out and give it a go. Because I genuinely think, that we play our best football in Europe because, like I said, the pressure isn't on. The pressure isn't on us. We're not expected to win every game. We're not expected to go out there and smash teams the way we are in the SPL. And like I said, you don't get the hammer throwers as much in Europe. Now, how do I think Clement will line up tomorrow night? I mean, look, my team would be very different to Clement's team. I mean, my team would be exceptionally different to Clement's team. Of course it would. I mean, if I was picking the team for tomorrow night, and like I said, a lot of you think whenever you see me do this, you think, oh, God, thank God Owen's not picking the team because, he doesn't pick a good team. But, if I was picking the team tomorrow night, which I'm not, but if I was, this is the team that I would go into that game with tomorrow night. This is my team. Okay, so my team would be as follows. So I'm just typing up now on the on the banner. So I'm going to bring my team up. So this is my team for tomorrow night. So my team would be Butland, Sterling, Suter, Proper, Hjefte. So I would go with Sterling at right back because I think you've got to put someone in there who's got the pace to get back, the pace to get forward, who's strong at the back, who isn't going to be a liability like James Tavernier is. So, yeah, I'd put him at right back. Suter, Proper, Hjefte is my back four. I think Suter and Proper, very effective pairing in central defence. Hjefte as a left back. Barron and Dio, if Dio's fit. Now, there's talk that Dio will be back on Thursday, so that's good news. I think we really did miss Dio at the weekend. Bayrami on the left, McCausland on the right, Lawrence in the 10, and Dessers. I mean, realistically, you've got to start Dessers because, I think it's too early for Igman at the moment. I think he's a good player, Igman, don't get me wrong. I think he's got a good future in the game, but I don't think that he's going to be ready yet to play or start. It is Ibrox, baby, yeah, and that's going to help. I think a lot of people sort of, will remember that, Ibrox will really help. It's a 12th man, isn't it? It really is a 12th man. It really is. An extra player on the pitch. The Tinker Man needs to get it right. The Sunday selection was baffling, says Ali. Absolutely, I agree with that. Now, this is the team that I think Clement will pick tomorrow night for the game against Lyon. Now, I know that realistically, he is exceptionally hard to read. He is exceptionally hard to figure out. So, Butland in goal. I think, it will be Jack Butland in goal, obviously. I mean, you're not going to see Liam Kelly tomorrow night. Butland, I think he's bang back in form. He's looking good. Back four, you're going to see Tav is going to play. I mean, look, I think we all, especially me, gets really worked up over James Tavernier and the fact that the useless moron is still in the team, but he's going to play every game. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tav hasn't got in his contract that he has to play 95%. 98% of the games. I really wouldn't be surprised if that's not in his contract. Suter, Proper, and Hjefte, I think, will be the back four. I think, as well as Cass played on Thursday against Malmo, I still think we'll see Hjefte at left back. I like Hjefte. I think he's a top player. I think he's a really good signing. He looks good going forward. He looks good going backwards. He is a top player. I really do think that he is a very, very good player. Hope Cherney plays better since that easy miss. He looks like his confidence is low, says Aldo. Me too, buddy. Is Phil only playing him from corners and free kicks? Surely someone else can take them, lol. I mean, you can't even take good corners and free kicks these days, honest Kaz. That's what I'd say. I think Proper's coming on, Aldo. I think he really is. And I think the defensive partnership between him and Suter is really developing. Yeah, I agree with that one as well, Ali. I think Barron and Dio, like I said, I think you've got to start Dio if he's fit. Even if you only get an hour from him, 65 minutes, 70 minutes from Dio, you've got to start Dio in there. If Dio's not fit, I'd start Sterling. I really would. Start Sterling at central defensive midfield alongside Barron. Give Barron a little bit more freedom to get up and get forward. Bayrami on the left. Lawrence will play in the 10 role, especially as he was talking about, Clement's been speaking in glowing terms about Tom Lawrence, about, him adding goals to his game, about his performances in training, about the fact that, he looks like a good 10. That's what Clement was saying the other day. So I don't think there's any chance that Lawrence gets dropped at any point. Czerny will play on the right. I think in terms of Václav Czerny, I mean, he's been poor so far. He really has. I don't think playing on the right helps him. I think he becomes too much of a one-trick pony. I think he uses his right foot just for standing on. And every team knows that they just force him in, that he wants to come inside, so force him outside. He won't do anything. I mean, he's become a bit of a one-trick pony for me. Dessers will start up front because, like I said, we don't really have any other options at this moment in time. Lovelace hasn't played. Hamza, I don't think is ready to start yet in Europe. So that'll be, I think, what he goes with tomorrow night or something close to that. In terms of Scott says, is Dio fit for Thursday? Now, I've heard different things about this. I've heard that he was limping quite badly when he came back from Malmo on Thursday night. I've heard others say that, that he will be back Thursday night. So I'm hopeful that Dio will be back. I'm hopeful that I'm going to go with the comments that he will be back and he'll be ready to go for Thursday night. So I do hope that he's going to be ready to go. But look, what we need to do Thursday night is quite simple, really. We need to go out there, attack from minute one, go after them, force them back, get the crowd up, and really get in their faces from the first minute. Where Rangers and English teams and Scottish teams do well in Europe at home is when you get the crowd up, you get in the foreign teams' faces, you go at them at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you play quickly, you play fast. Don't slow the game down. Must not slow the game down tomorrow night. Must play the game quickly, because if you play the game quickly, you play at speed, you play aggressively, you play quickly, you put foreign teams off. I mean, we've seen that in Europe. Teams from the continent don't like British teams that come at them, that play with pace, that play with power and aggression. If you try and play them at their own game, tiki-taka, slow it down, pass it around, you're playing right into their hands and they'll pick you off. So tomorrow we need a good traditional Scottish performance, a good traditional Rangers performance of up and at them from the first whistle. Scott, obviously, you answered that question. Aldo says, Suter, I'd agree with you, mate. Suter is solid. I think Suter's playing well. And look, I think John Suter gets a lot of unfair criticism from fans. I think he really does. And as I said on the video yesterday, would John Suter be playing for Rangers if he didn't have a mistake in him? If John Suter was perfect, would he be playing? Probably not. Probably not. Proper last few games has looked on it, brave, fast. I agree, honest Kaz. He has looked good, and he's actually, as well for me, started to lead a lot more. Get into that kind of leadership role. This pushing up, push the team up, hold the line. If you watch him, he's directing the team all the time. So yeah, I think that he's doing a lot better now. The subs that all came on Sunday will start, including Dowell, says Ali Quinn. Let's hope not, because Dowell, I don't know what Dowell contributes to the team. Geordie says, if Czerny comes off, he has to be subbed for McCausland. Agreed. I would start McCausland. I really would. I mean, McCausland looks in really good form at the moment. I think it was unfair that he was taken off on Sunday. I thought that was the wrong substitution to make. I'd have taken Czerny off, put McCausland back on the right. That's what I would have done. And McCausland scored in the Europa League, and he looks good. I don't get the obsession with Czerny. I know he's on loans. You've got to kind of feel obligated to play him. But for me, I would rather see McCausland start there. Czerny can't use his right foot at all, so why play him on the right, in my opinion? Sorry, it's junior football stuff. Yeah, absolutely. McCausland, why not start him? Agreed. Yes, also agree. I was his biggest critic. Hamza needs to build up his league games for us. I agree with that one. That with he does Aldo, usually always sports scientist nonsense, play your best team, period. Agreed. I think, you've got 2 games we left before the international break. So I would agree. We need to just basically play our best team, play our strongest team for the next 2 games, because you've got a week to rest, and if the players go off to their international teams tired, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if Bayrami goes off tired to Albania, or Tierney goes off tired to the Czech Republic, or whatever, or Suter goes off tired to Scotland. I don't care. I don't care if they then don't produce their best for Scotland, or they don't produce their best for the Czech Republic, or they don't produce their best for Romania or whoever. I don't really give them monkeys how they play for their international teams. As long as they play well for Rangers, I couldn't care less how they play for their international teams. Although says, honest Kaz, just want to see Rangers win, play well. I admit being negative a lot, but I need to change my attitude towards the team. Matt Gunner says it's -7 in here today. It is -7. It's very cold here today, Matt. Absolutely. Ali says, I'm confident our defence is doing well. Another clean sheet. Happy October, people. I mean, yeah, defence is doing really well, Ali, isn't it? I mean, 6 clean sheets in 7. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Matt says, I'm not a McCausland fan, but the boy offers more than Tierney. I agree, mate. He's direct. He's quick. He gets at the opposition. He plays well. You know, I would go with McCausland tomorrow night. I really would start McCausland. You know, and it kind of annoys me a little bit that some of these young players are not getting a fair crack at the whip. You know, as I said on the video this morning, you know, you've got to show that to the young players that there's a path between academy to B team to first team, because if you don't show that, you're going to lose time, aren't you? You're going to lose those players, and that's not a good thing. Caleb says, Ross is sharp and understands Rangers more than Tierney. I agree. Although I know it's not good, but I just pray we are a way to kick on now, because we need it. We do need to kick on, absolutely. Honest Kaz, well, Celtic are not that great. Weak in defence. Hope next time we play, pressure their defence the weakest link. Absolutely. Ali says, was annoyed Dortmund never scored more. Lol, love that, mate. Love that. Could have been 12. It could have been more, mate. I mean, Dortmund could have won by 10, 11 nil. Really, they won. They could have done. Butland's got a team of the week, although that makes the game better if it comes out tonight. I mean, Butland's really come on, hasn't he? Really has. Big Jack is aiming for a clean over. I like that, mate. I like that, Matt. That's cool. But yeah, I think, you know, we've really got to look at this in terms of the fact that, you know, Jack's back on form. I think, you know, Jack had a wobble at the start of the season. Of course he did. He didn't play well at the start of the season. You know, and that happens, doesn't it? You know, even goalkeepers go through dodgy spells, just like players. Goalkeepers go through dodgy spells. Of course they do, you know. And I think Jack had a dodgy spell, but he's now back on form. He's now, you know, ruling the roost. He's making good saves. He saved that penalty. He's doing really well. So I'll be honest with you. I'm really pleased with Jack Butland and how he's come back at it. You know, he's dealt with the criticism. He's dealt with the hassle. He did absolutely, honest Kaz, he did look old last night, didn't he? His dad didn't look very happy either in the crowd. But I honestly believe that, you know, that we should be looking at this game tomorrow night as a chance to really go out and play, really go out and perform back to the level we did last Thursday. And I think, like I said earlier in the pod, you know, Europa League football suits Rangers more than the SPL. We're more attuned to actually playing Europa League football. I mean, that's why this is a controversial point, but I actually think that we would do better in the Premier League than people think we would, because you'd be playing more teams that want to play football. You know, if you look at where Rangers, you know, struggle, it's when we're playing against teams with low blocks, teams that just want to kick the crap out of us for 90 minutes. That's where we struggle to score goals and struggle to put teams away. You know, when we come up against teams that actually want to play football and play us, we actually play quite well against them. So I actually think we'd do better in the Premier League than a lot of people actually think we would. Was the England stuff affecting Jack? Yeah, I think it could have been, mate, Matt. I think he could have been down from that. Absolutely, 100%. Was just annoyed with the Hibs game because our first game back at Ibrox was a 1-0. Was disappointing because I didn't see hunger or wanting to score many. We let Hibs play, and that pissed me off. But 3 points, yeah, it was a poor performance. It was a poor performance. Some strike the new Salah. He does look a very good player, doesn't he? That Adeyemi. He does look a very, very talented player. Absolutely. Guys, please smash the like. Obviously, sub to the channel if you're not yet subbed to this channel. I mean, look, we've got a lot coming up over the next few days. Obviously, you know, Rangers tomorrow night, obviously, against Lyon in the Europa League. As I've said, you know, I said last night on the podcast, I won't be able to stream the game, unfortunately, because I am stuck at work tomorrow night. But I will be live in the morning with the match day morning preview, a look ahead. Also, as well, we'll be looking at, we will be bringing you a live watch along for St Johnstone on Sunday. So please come and join me for that. We've got podcast every morning now for the rest of the week. We've got one tomorrow morning, the match day morning. Friday morning will be the review. We'll look back at the game. Saturday morning, we'll be looking ahead with the St Johnstone preview. Saturday night, general podcast will be a Q&A. And then obviously we'll bring you the live game on Sunday. And obviously then the post-match on Sunday night. So an awful lot coming up on the channel, guys. So please obviously make sure we're Will you be buying the fourth kit? I did a fourth kit come out, Aldo? I haven't seen a fourth kit yet, mate. I actually haven't seen a fourth kit yet. But yeah, so there's a lot coming up on the channel this week. So please, obviously, make sure you smash the sub, smash these, ring the bell so you don't miss out on the content. You don't miss out when we go live. Thank you, obviously, for your support at this point. We reached 2.5 million views yesterday, which is phenomenal. Your support has been outstanding. Thank you so much. Okay, that's it for this morning, guys. I'm off away ready now to get ready for work. Thank you for watching the pod this morning. Thank you for watching the preview. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Matchday Morning podcast. So please come and join us for that. Thanks for watching. Remember always, we are